At the beginning of the story, we see two buses driving down the road, both filled with female students heading to class. Among them is a girl named Mitsuko, a quiet and charming student. Unlike the others, she is deeply focused on writing something in her notebook. Her friends begin teasing her, saying that she writes all the time and asking what she even gains from making notes. They tell her to look around and enjoy herself like everyone else. As they laugh, one of the girls snatches Mitsuko's notebook, causing her pen to fall to the floor. As Mitsuko bends down to pick up her pen, something horrifying happens. Out of nowhere, a powerful invisible force rushes through the road and slices both buses cleanly in half, killing every single girl inside instantly. Blood and bodies scatter everywhere. When Mitsuko stands back up, she is frozen in shock. She cannot believe what she is seeing. The only reason she survived is because she bent down at that exact moment. Terrified, Mitsuko quickly gets off the bus and starts running. It is then revealed that the thing cutting everything apart is not a visible object. It is the wind itself. The wind begins chasing Mitsuko as she runs for her life, screaming for help. While running, she spots four girls ahead and yells at them to duck, but it is already too late. The wind slices them in half instantly. Mitsuko manages to save one girl, but moments later, the wind kills her as well. They then try to warn a group of girls riding bicycles nearby, but the wind does not spare them either. One by one, everyone is brutally killed. Overwhelmed with fear, Mitsuko runs aimlessly until she reaches a river. There, she sees countless dead bodies floating in the water. It becomes clear that the wind has already slaughtered everyone. Shaken, Mitsuko takes clothes from one of the bodies and changes. She continues walking and eventually arrives at a school filled with female students, all acting as if nothing has happened. Confused and traumatized, Mitsuko is approached by a girl who asks how she is doing. The girl turns out to be her best friend, Aki. Mitsuko, unable to comprehend reality anymore, questions whether Aki is truly her best friend. A strong gust of wind suddenly blows through the area, terrifying Mitsuko. She runs inside the building to hide, leaving Aki confused. Aki follows her and asks why she is trembling and what happened. Mitsuko finally explains everything: the wind, the buses, and the massacre. Aki tries to comfort her and places her hand outside a window, saying it is just the wind and nothing else. Later, Aki decides to skip class and leaves the school with Mitsuko and two friends, Tai and Sura. They ignore their teacher's warnings and run away, eventually reaching a lake deep inside a forest. At the lake, Aki tells Tai and Sura about Mitsuko's experience. Sura suggests that Mitsuko may have crossed into another universe and explains the concept of infinite alternate realities. To demonstrate, she throws a stone into the lake, explaining that in another universe, she may not have thrown it at all. Suddenly, a giant crocodile emerges from the lake and devours Tai. But moments later, Tai reappears unharmed. Sura explains that Tai died in another universe, not this one. Nearby, the girls find a bed and begin playing with the pillows. Mitsuko notices two girls watching them from afar, one dressed as a bride. Moments later, both girls mysteriously disappear. Sura says that their fates are predetermined, but if they want to change their destiny, they must do something impossible in another universe. The girls return to school. During the next class, Mitsuko notices a pillow beside her seat. Curious, she bends down to pick it up. Suddenly, the teacher pulls out a minigun and begins shooting all the students. When Mitsuko stands up, everyone, including Aki, is dead. Once again, bending down at the right moment saved her life. The teacher approaches Mitsuko and threatens to kill her, but Tai and Sura arrive and help her escape. Before they can flee, another teacher appears and kills Tai and Sura instantly. Mitsuko runs with the remaining students, but one by one, they are slaughtered. First by the teachers, and finally by the wind. Mitsuko trips, and at that exact moment, the wind slices everyone else apart. She is the only survivor. Mitsuko reaches a police station and explains everything to a female officer. The officer laughs and asks why Mitsuko is still wearing a school uniform. She calls her Ko, confusing Mitsuko further. The officer asks Mitsuko to look in the mirror. When she does, she realizes her appearance has completely changed. She is no longer Mitsuko. She is now Ko, a bride about to get married. At the wedding hall, Mitsuko sees Aki again. Aki warns her to stay quiet and do exactly as she says. Aki helps her prepare and gives her a broken glass bottle. At the ceremony, Mitsuko discovers that instead of a groom, there is a coffin standing upright. Inside is a person wearing a pig mask. Terrified, Mitsuko attacks the figure with the broken glass, causing chaos. Mitsuko and Aki escape, but are stopped by two women, the same teachers from the school. They fight them off and split up. As Mitsuko keeps running, her appearance changes again. She is now wearing a marathon outfit. Another girl calls her Aomi, and Mitsuko realizes she is now a marathon runner. She begins running and sees her dead friends again. Aki appears and tells her to escape. Mitsuko reaches a cave where many girls are hiding. One attacks Mitsuko, saying that if she survives, others must die. But Aki kills her. Inside the cave, Aki tells Mitsuko to shout her name. Mitsuko does so and returns to her original self. Aki reveals a cable implanted in her hand and tells Mitsuko to pull it. Aki explains that this world is fictional, and Mitsuko is the main character. If she pulls the cable, Aki will return to the real world, and Mitsuko will reach the final stage. After hesitating, Mitsuko pulls the cable. Aki is instantly split in half. A gate opens, and Mitsuko enters a world filled entirely with men playing a violent 3D survival horror game called Tag. Mitsuko, Ko, and Aomi are playable characters in the game. Mitsuko collapses. When she wakes up, she finds girls stored like mannequins. She meets an old man who reveals he created the game. He explains that 150 years ago, he was a student who loved Mitsuko. After her death, he used her DNA and her friend's DNA to create clones for his game. The final stage of the game, he says, is for Mitsuko to sleep with his younger self. Remembering Sura's words about changing fate, Mitsuko does the impossible. She attacks the boy, then takes the old man's cane and stabs herself, killing him. This act was never part of the game. Mitsuko's fate changes. She is seen dying at the beginning of all three scenarios: the bus, the wedding, and the marathon, before they begin. Finally, Mitsuko wakes up in a snow-covered place, realizing everything is over. She has returned to the real world.